Y'all ready for this?
Okay, so I'm Hunter, and this is the RPO Show. I'm here with Dylan, Connor, and Dobbs. So this show was previously a podcast, and we decided to kind of take a pause and revamp it. So we're going to be trying to do a weekly show here, and we're going to have video. We're going to clip segments, put it up on podcast, put it up on the main YouTube, the Burbs YouTube. And we got some headlines for you. We got some debate segments. We got some open discussion, some betting segments, Armchair GM, which is something we're really excited about. So we're going to get right into it. If everyone just wants to introduce themselves real quick, and then we'll start the show with our top two headlines. Dylan, you can go first.
Yeah.
Or Connor.
Dylan, you got it.
What's up, guys? It's Dylan. Yeah, we've been doing the RPO show for a little bit now. But I'm definitely excited to get it into video format and just pumping it out with you guys.
Yes,
Connor.
sir.
Oh,
that was funny as hell. Go, Connor. You go first now.
I'm Connor, the resident PFF nerd. So if you need any statistics, that's what I'm here for.
Dobbs here. You know, I'm bringing energy every week. We're going to turn up. Basically, I'll just reiterate what Dylan said. But all you need to know is we're coming with some good takes every week, good knowledge. And I'm excited to be here and talk football with y'all every week. So let's get it.
I also just want to say this podcast will be in memory of Matthew Ice Harris.
Legend.
Nothing's wrong with him. He's just not on here anymore. And yeah, shout out Ice.
Big shouts to Ice.
You got some shoes to fill, Hunter.
I know. I think I can fill. Well, I can't. I know I can fill Ice's shoes, but I think I can supply something else. So, Dylan, you want to start off with the headlines?
Yeah, so we're just gonna dive in. As you guys know, this has just been a relatively quiet time for the NFL. June 1st started the new league year. And yeah, we don't really have many headlines, but we're just gonna go into the Julio Jones trade first. So obviously last week on the Skip and Shannon show, Undisputed, he kind of called him, and it was a little awkward conversation on air, a little bit unethical too. So I just want to pose, where do you guys think Julio will go if he is traded? And kind of how do you feel about that conversation on the show? And like, I don't know, to me, it just gave off bad vibes, and it was kind of a weird thing.
Connor, go ahead.
Honestly, I think he's going to get traded to Tennessee. I feel like that's the team that needs him the most. Right now, their receiving corps would be like bottom half of the league. Really, A.J. Brown's the only guy that got. So I think if anybody needs him the most, it's them. So they're going to make the biggest offer for him and the best chance.
You know, I'll say about this. So hear me out. I know I've been hearing too. I think that the Titans are probably the most likely, candidate at this point. But on the other hand, if the 49ers can somehow pull it off and, and say, you know what, let's go. We're going all in. We've, Shanahan's like, we just got there. I want to write with the past wrong, what I wrong, hey, Julio was there from the 28-3 thing. For anybody that doesn't know, that was Shanahan, Julio connections back then. Bring it back, right the wrong. San Francisco's got every chance to win the bowl already in the next couple of years. Hey, why not give themselves an even bigger chance? Just go all for it. I don't care what it takes at this point. Hey, I'm not a Niners fan by any means, but if the Niners could get the job done, Super Bowl contenders for the next couple of years to come, and that would be pretty insane.
I see the Titans as the most likely, but I also can see the Packers bringing him in as like a, like Aaron, like stay type thing. But Dobbs, I have to disagree. I don't agree with the 49ers, and I'll tell you why. They don't pass that much, in my opinion. And like to bring in someone that expensive to add to, I mean, they have like a decent receiving core. It's not special by any means. I mean, they got some young talent there, but like my whole thing is I just don't understand why you would bring all that money in. I know they have cap space, but like why you bring that in if like you're going to specialize definitely in a run game, like in Shanahan's offense.
I do agree. I just got a quick rebuttal. Two reasons. All right. One, we all know Julio. Hey, Julio's a great run blocker. That's why him and Shanny were so. One of the reasons Julio gets the job done in the run game for damn sure. He's a strong boy. And more importantly, you can start passing more with Julio. And because that's the thing is not the 49ers just have a young receiving core. Like they're a young group of dudes all in all, and like it's not that you don't trust them. It's just that, they don't have their reps in all the way yet where it's like you trust in big situations. Bring in a guy like Julio. Hey, may just see games where they're more comfortable throwing, 25, 30 passes a game because, hey, we got a guy that can go out and catch 10, 12 balls. And every target we throw at him, we're confident he's going to come down with. So that's, you know what I mean? But I do completely understand where you're coming from as well.
Dylan, how are you feeling about that?
Dude, honestly, it's just tough because, like, this is, like, obviously the most popular destination. But the Titans, A.J. Brown's all in on the recruiting process and everything. It just makes the most sense because they have a hole for that. A.J. Brown is a very good receiver, but if he's playing at that, like, number 2 kind of role and you have Julio to take a lot of attention off of him, like, A.J. Brown will go crazy. You already have Derrick Henry. And then I just feel like the Patriots is a good option too because they really don't have anyone right now. And if you paired Julio along with both of the tight ends that they signed in this offseason, like, that starts to look like a much better offense too.
No, I agree. I think so too. Like I said, like, I mentioned it like briefly, but I could also see the Packers. I mean, pairing him with Devontae Adams, like, and Robert Tonyan. Like, think about that. That'd
be horrifying.
I would hate every second of it, but
but it'd be nice. It'd be
so nice
as a football fan.
Way to keep him happy.
Fun. Well, that's the thing.
It would be fun for sure.
I think if you go out and get Julio, you're almost giving Aaron Rodgers no choice but to come back. Like, who would say no
to that Rodgers is back?
Right. Who would say no to that in their right mind? Throwing to Devontae Adams and Julio Jones, you just can't get better than that.
I mean, that kind of goes straight into our next headline. And I know it's been talked about kind of a lot, but I feel like we just kind of got to address it. So, Dylan, like, bring us right into it.
Yeah. So, Hunter, you let us in perfectly. Aaron Rodgers, I will never forget the moment when Schefter tweeted that Aaron Rodgers, like, wanted out of Green Bay. Me and Connor were sitting on our porch watching the draft with a bunch of other guys. And we were just like, one of our buddies is a Green Bay fan. We were just like, oh my God. He was so sad. But yeah, it was kind of weird too, because I don't know if you guys saw the ESPN interview with him. It was on one of the late shows and he just like
with Kenny Mayne.
Yeah, with Kenny Mayne. It was like his last episode. And he just like threw out some like weird phrases and stuff. And the one that kind of stuck out to me was he said, it's about character, it's about culture, it's about doing things the right way. And from my perspective, it was always the Packers were like kind of like a model franchise in the NFL, right? Like they've always been good. And it just seemed like no players really had anything bad to say about it. So that was like a really interesting thing for me to hear. I just kind of, what do you guys think of that? Do you think he was disrespected? And where do you think he would go even if he does go somewhere?
So like, I think the interesting part about that is that on that interview, he said that, oh, I love Jordan. He's a great kid and whatnot. And he kind of wanted to put away those rumors that that's the reason why he felt disrespected. But the thing is, when you get like into the context of what he said, Jordan can be a good kid. But I mean, the moment that they drafted him and that they were already planning for the future when, hey, we went to the NFC Championship game the year before, you drafted another quarterback that's not going to help me at all. Like, I think that is when he said everything got put into motion, even though Jordan can be a good kid, even though he can come out and say, like, I like the guy and whatnot. But, like, I think that is the defining moment that really turned him against the Green Bay organization.
What were you going
to say? Yes,
no, to your point too, Connor, it could have been any quarterback, right? Like it didn't have to be Jordan Love. Like it's nothing against Jordan Love. It was just like the act that it was. Sorry, go ahead, Dobbs.
All right. So it's one of those things where, again, everybody in the media in the NFL, it's one of, like everyone loves Aaron Rodgers. Like they want him on their team. So you're gonna like not say anything, like these guys publicly like think. So like what I'm about to say, but you know what I think I'm about to speak the truth. I don't mind at all. Look, here's my thing. I completely understand where he's coming from. Disclaimer. Like I completely understand where he's coming from. If I was in his position, I would probably be upset too. And it's like, he has every right to feel that way. Now, on the other hand, this is the thing. As he said himself, the Packers, and you said, Dylan, the Packers organization is about culture, winning for a long period of time, and sustaining that winning. It's about, keeping it rolling. Their point of view is like, okay, look, we literally, what we did with you is we let you sit for a while behind a great, great Hall of Fame player so that he would develop the intangibles to be that next step for us and be that next generational player that we need. And according to him, he was whatever he said, like, me winning MVP, I think put a foil on that. But in reality, it's like, well, yeah, they used the first round pick on a guy that they have a lot of confidence in for the future. I don't think that they had any plans of necessarily like just throwing him in. Like, I think that they are fully fine waiting until A-Rod was done in Green Bay, or you know what I'm saying, like until he retired. But obviously A-Rod's not on board with that because, like you guys are saying, he's been like, like he feels disrespect at this point. I understand to an extent, but also the Packers are just trying to supply and sustain that same winning formula that they have been doing for the last 2-3 decades. And so it's like, when you look at it from that angle, it's kind of tough because it's like, what they did is like, yeah, it hurt their chances to win a Super Bowl in like this next 1 or 2 years. But if they didn't draft him, maybe they didn't get that quarterback that they thought was really the guy for the future and they missed that chance. Well, then when Aaron Rodgers is gone, maybe that winning that they've sustained for so long isn't there. So you're like, when I look at it from both sides, it is such a hard, like, it's hard because both sides have, a prerogative on like what they want the future to be. But I do understand both sides a lot.
So listen, I've obviously don't like Aaron Rodgers. I don't think me, Connor, or Dylan like Aaron Rodgers. But here's the thing: like, he's incredible, right? He's incredible what he does, and like the Packers need to forget, like the Packers can't forget that like they are only winning because of Aaron Rodgers. Like, my thing is like he carried that team, right? So like this is in no way similar. I mean, it's similar, but in no way to the same level at all. It's all about respect to me because the way I look at it is like when I had a job, I asked for a raise, right? And what I was looking for was really just a minor raise because I know all the work I was doing and all the work I was putting in and like how basically like I was bringing in a ton of work. So basically not carrying, but I was carrying my own weight and kind of bringing in a lot. And my thing is I wanted very little in a raise, but the whole thing is like, it took them months and months and months to even try to sit down with me. And at that point, I just felt disrespected where I didn't even care about the money. To me, it was more just about like, hey, listen, I know what I'm doing for you guys. It'd be nice to just be able to sit down or like talk about something, right? And that's what I feel like Aaron Rodgers is at, where he's at situationally, because imagine 9 years out of your 10 years, they draft defensive players, and then the first offensive player they draft in the first round and they move up to get him is a quarterback. I don't care. I don't think it's about who it is, like Connor was saying or Dylan was saying. It's more about the fact that, one, they didn't even let him know. Two, they're not even trying to help him out talent wise. And three, he's carrying his team every year through the playoffs. Like, my thing is, if you don't have Aaron Rodgers, that team is I'm sorry, they might make the playoffs, they might not, but it's a toss up. Like with Aaron Rodgers, you're going to the playoffs and you're making it past the first round. So that's just how I see it. I think I think the Packers organization handled it horribly, in my opinion. But I think the most likely spot is the Broncos. The Broncos make the most sense.
Yeah,
I definitely agree. And I have to throw this in because I don't know how I forgot to mention this because Packers fans are probably like, "What?" This is another thing I have to say. With the whole Jordan Love thing, they also did completely tweak and still have been tweaking, like by not signing more offensive players through free agency or in the later rounds of the draft. Like, it doesn't have to be round one, but they literally weren't even like, it's like trying to hit on a good offensive player. And that's the problem too, is it's like, okay, you skip one round of it, not the biggest deal in the world, but 2 drafts in a row and 2 off seasons in a row of not supplying him really any new talent that he can do anything with against teams that are now like flying super high with offensive talent. That is the hugest problem. Not even the Jordan Love thing, in my opinion. It really is like the lack of just anything else. Like, it's like, yeah, no, that is a huge problem. Like when you
see what Brady does, when you see like what Brady did, he said, you know what, I'm done with the Patriots. I'm done with the disrespect. I'm going. And guess what happened? He went somewhere where they valued him and valued his opinion because they understand what he's done as a player. And that's why they let him he said, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, number 1 and 2. That's why they let him have Antonio Brown. That's why they let him make decisions, because how are you going to tell a quarterback who has 6? I know Aaron Rodgers doesn't have 6 championships, but he's done a lot compared to a lot of other quarterbacks in the league. So I think he's just looking for someone, kind of like Tom was looking, just someone who values him and respects him for who he is as a player.
I completely agree. That's a good point. That's very well said too.
And I think the biggest shock to me was, like, we talked about the not adding any offensive players to the draft, right? Or like any first rounders or second rounders, right? Like, there's a guy like Kenny Golladay in division that's a free agent, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they didn't even make a push for him, or at least to our knowledge, they didn't make a push for him. Like, to me, it's just like if your quarterback has vocalized the fact that he needs more help and stuff like that, and you don't make an effort to do that, it's just like kind of like saying like we don't really care about your opinion. Like we're just gonna do what we think's best for long-term success rather than like, yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy to me that they would draft a quarterback like that. And the other thing too is that if you look at Aaron or Tom Brady and Drew Brees, they played until they're into their 40s, right? Like you know that Aaron Rodgers can probably play. He is kind of a wild card in a sense, I think, where like to me, he is the personality where I could just see him like walking away. You know what I mean? Like randomly. But if he doesn't, you would imagine he'd play into his 40s, right? So I just don't think like drafting a quarterback 2 years ago now was like a big priority for like the long-term success, because they could have even done it this year, couldn't done it next year. You know what I mean?
Well, the worst thing I think too is like I've been seeing that Jordan Love's just not that good. So he's like he's just like, I think what Aaron is his main problem too is he's like, you move up, draft this guy, don't give me any talent, and he sucks.
Yeah,
like you wasted a first round pick to help me. And like, listen, that makes me so happy because you know how scared I was that the Bears are gonna have to deal with another 20 fucking years of, oh my god. So I mean, like, sucks for the player, and like just my thing is the Packers organization should have been like, you know what, we messed up and done everything they could to fix it. But to me, I think they're being stubborn, and I think Aaron Rodgers can be more stubborn, and I just don't see this ending well.
Well, this is what we've seen with a lot of NFL organizations too, where it's like it's almost like this power complex where like they don't want players to have like a say over like them. Like they need to be in charge of everything too. So I think there was a little bit of that factored into it too. All right.
Go ahead.
We'll move on to our next segment now. This is gonna look at a little bit different when we get closer to the season, stuff like that. We'll be going through like kind of like the weekly gambling lines, but for right now, we got to stick to some future props. And the prop this week is we're going to be going through every single division and picking a winner at the odds that are listed.
We're going to run through these quick because if we like spend a lot of time on them, it's going to take
it's just
forever.
It's going to be a quick,
we can
just rattle it off. Maybe like 15-second explanation, but I'll cut you off if you go further. All right. So starting out with the NFC North, we have the Packers at -134, Vikings at +260, Bears at +375, and the Lions at +2000. Connor, what do you like here?
All right, this one's way too easy. Especially if Rodgers is not going to be on the Packers, which I'm going to assume he's not going to be. Bears +375, great value. We're going to be better than the Vikings. There's no doubt in my mind about it. I mean, +375, you can't get anything better than that.
Dobbs, what do we like?
You know, I'm gonna go with the Bears, and it's one of those things where you guys, I feel like, will agree. This is gonna be one of those weird years in a division. I feel like for the NFC North, if Rodgers isn't on the Packers, it doesn't play, where you could win the division almost going like 9-7. You literally just need to have like a solid year at most, and you could really win the division. Because I kind of I picture the Vikings right in the middle of the pack again, 8-8, 9-7, maybe a little bit less than that, 7-9. So if the Bears can just pull out like a above 500 season, I do definitely see them winning. Like I can see them winning the division. Oh, I'm forgetting though, extra game this season, but still, I'm taking the Bears on that. I like that. I like the Bears prop.
That's gonna take a minute to get used to for sure.
Gonna be completely dependent on if Aaron Rodgers stays, but I see Justin Fields balling out, and I never trust the Vikings. I just don't trust the Vikings. So I'm gonna go Bears +375.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild that the Packers are even like still favorited with all of the Aaron Rodgers rumors going on. But I just think that, especially with the chance that he doesn't and a future bet, you always look for good odds and stuff like that, especially at plus. So honestly, as a Bears fan, obviously I'm taking the Bears, but even like the Vikings, because you always know they're going to be like Dobbs said, middle of the pack, decent. Like even at +260, the Vikings, like I think those are solid odds. All right. So the NFC East, we have the Cowboys at +125, football team, Washington football team at +260, the Giants at +350, and the Eagles at +500.
Honestly, I like all these odds. I think you can't go wrong with any of the top three. The Eagles are not going to win the division. There's no chance. But if I'm going to have to play it safe, I like that the Cowboys are plus odds to win the division because I do think they have one of the best offenses in the league, and their defense has gotten a little bit better. Dan Quinn, some new additions in the back end at safety with Keanu Neal and DeMonte Kazi. I think the Cowboys at plus odds is pretty good value.
You know, I'm with you, Connor, where it's like I don't dislike any of these. And, you know, I'm going to go with the Giants. I feel like Joe Judge, I like the Joe Judge foundation of the team. I feel like they're just going to keep building on it. I really think the Giants are going to be a really like formidable team for a long period of time, as long as they figure out the quarterback situation. That's kind of thing is, I also think Daniel Jones is going to make a little bit of a leap this year. I'll be on the record and say that. I'm a bit of a risky take, but I don't mind. I think that the Giants are going to make it. Yeah, I think the Giants are going to make a little bit of a leap this year. And I'm going to be like, okay, we got to start taking the boys in blue seriously. That's how I'm picturing that division this year.
I'm going with the Washington football team. I think honestly they're going to squeak out 10 to 11 wins, and I'll put that down. But I also do see the Giants. I could see the Giants like pushing through and getting the top of the division. I'm never sold on the Cowboys. I just don't believe in them. But that Washington defense is scary, and I like Fitzpatrick as their quarterback. So yeah, I can see them squeaking out 10 to 11 wins. Sneaky.
Football team has for a horrifyingly scary defense. So.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a Cowboys, a football team, and a Giants. Do I have to go the Eagles here?
No,
Dude,
please
I'm
no.
kidding. I could not do that.
Make your case.
No, like you said, Connor, all three teams, just the fact that all of them are at plus odds, like you can't go wrong with any of them. Personally, I'm gonna go with the Giants too. I just think they're gonna be a fun team. They're just gonna be a lot of fun. And Joe Judge, he kind of like strikes me as a culture guy, so I like what they're doing over there. All right, we're going back to the NFC South. The Bucks are at minus 200, Saints plus 300, Falcons plus 800, and Panthers plus 1,100.
All right. So I really don't see any other team winning the NFC South other than the Bucks. And minus 200 isn't horrible. Like it could be 300 or 400, and I don't think I'd really take. And like I wouldn't bet on these personally, but if you were to take one, you'd have to do the Bucks.
Toss 100 down, get 50 back. Not bad.
Yeah,
It's not that bad.
You know, I completely agree, Connor. I'll just say this because you guys we'll give it. There's like a 1% chance that it happens, but I'll make a case for it. The only chance that the Bucks don't win the division is I believe in the TB12 method and all that, but regardless, Tom's getting older. We just saw it. I didn't think it was ever going to happen to Drew like that. Wait, one bad hit or something? I don't know.
Is this the Saints take?
Well, I was going to say that's the only other team that has a chance to win the division, I feel like, is the Saints. And I don't think we're gonna. And the only chance that it happens is like if Tom were to get injured. But he's getting older. The chance exists. It's not. But I mean, if I was putting money in, I would put money in the Bucks. But I might as well be the one person who gives us a different perspective. If something were to happen to Tom, I feel like the Saints would have an advantage. So, but I don't think anything is going to happen to Tom on the record. But it's just worth noting.
I'm going famous Jameis, baby. No, I think the Bucks are gonna win. I mean, they returned to 22 starters. And like they're gelling. Like, come on, like it's Tom Brady. I don't think. I mean. I don't think the Saints can win it. I think they'll still like make the playoffs, but like the Falcons, if they're putting up like 60 points a game because their defense is just god awful, like I don't know, like maybe, but it's Bucks easily.
Yeah,
the Falcons are going to be interesting.
They just need to send Julio. They need to send Matt Ryan. They just need to start fresh. All right, I already said my piece on the Bucks too. 100 get 50 back sounds good to me. This is going to be a fun one, and I really don't know what to expect from this. But the NFC West, we have the Rams at plus 180, 49ers plus 180, Seahawks plus 300, and Cardinals plus 600. Connor's rocking the Cardinals.
I know who Connor's going. I know who Connor's going with.
Connor's rocking the Cardinals.
I'm going with the same. I already know who Connor's going with. I didn't even say it. You know what?
This is actually gonna be a surprise. I'm going to take Seattle, and for one reason and one reason only. They have the best quarterback in the division. That's all I need.
Hey, I respect it. I'm going to have to switch it up on you, though. I thought for sure with these odds, You know what? Kyler Murray just needs that. If Kyler Murray has, and he's already obviously had, we already respect Kyler Murray. Thinks he's a good player. But if he can take that like leap step and like really kind of like turn the switch this year, the Cardinals have got a shot. The Cardinals got a good like they have a formidable defense now. The O line is still kind of, what you're like, you're looking at the team, you're like, I don't know how I feel about that. But regardless, hey, they sure as hell got a chance. And at odds plus 600, you put down a decent little chunk of money, you win it. That's pretty good value for your money. So I'm going to definitely go with the Cardinals on this one.
I don't like Cliff Kingsbury. I like Matt Stafford a lot. So I'm going to go with the Rams. Their defense is scary. And Matt Stafford is not Jared Goff. So I think they'll be okay with winning the division. And I'm not also sold on the 49ers.
Yeah. So Connor, you really shocked me here because usually I'm the Seahawks. I'm the resident Seahawks fan of Burbs usually, aside from the Bears. But I'm gonna have to go Rams because Hunter, you made a very good point. Matt Stafford is not Jared Goff, and he's a lot better, so much better than him, and he's gonna be so good on the Rams. So I have to go with the Rams too.
The issue with Jared Goff is he did get hit once, and then he's just like he's shaking the whole game. Like the Bears hit him once, and he was shook the whole game.
He's a soft Cali boy.
He can't. He can't bounce back.
Yeah, no, I've never been.
What if the Hot Lions revive his career?
The Hot Lions.
What if he just goes to Detroit and starts scorching people with like a no-name receiving core? That would be hilarious. No, tangent. We won't get on that. I had to throw it out.
It's the Dan Campbell effect.
There's a chance, baby. The Dan Campbell effect. There's a chance.
All right, we're jumping over to the NFC North now. We got the Ravens.
AFC North.
Good catch. AFC North. Ravens at plus 120, Browns plus 145, Steelers plus 400, and the Bengals at plus 2,500.
All right, so I'm going to take the Browns at plus 145, but, I can't lie. That Bengals plus 2,500 is looking at me some type of way right now. That's a pretty juicy odd right there. But no, in all seriousness, no. The Browns, I think, have the most complete roster in the league. I mean, they don't have any holes anywhere on their team. And Eric Berry's done a great job at GM for them, bringing in so much talent through the draft and free agency. And I think Baker Mayfield could be a sneaky dark horse MVP candidate this year. So I'm going with the Browns.
Yeah, Connor, if we're talking value for your money, the Bengals, throw like $5 on them. Why not?
Kind of nice, right?
Yeah, no, like as far as value goes, you might as well just throw $5 like anybody on them. But I'd say, you know what? I'm going to go a different route here. Steelers, they got their boy now where they can, shout out Najee, where they can pound the ball consistently throughout the game, control the clock, still got a good defense. I can see the Steelers churning out the division. It's going to be, obviously it's not going to be easy. This is one of the toughest divisions in football. I know Big Ben, I'm fully aware of his regression and everything. But at the end of the day, they have the guy that they want to play the style of football they want now. They still are going to be a good defensive squad. That's the formula to win football games all in all. And so with that being said, I got to rock with the boys in Pittsburgh. And even though I don't care if this is an unpopular opinion, I'm rocking.
So my pick for the North is the Browns. Fuck the Steelers. I don't think Big Ben has it anymore. I like Najee Harris, but at the same time, I'm just not sold on them. Love Mike Tomlin. Think he's a great coach, but fuck him. I like the Browns. I don't think the Ravens. I don't know. The Ravens just, I can't, like, they had that 1 year and I think they're always going to be a good team with Lamar. Just can't do it. Browns, as long as Baker Mayfield don't slip and slide over the field, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the Browns too. Baker Mayfield's my dude. I've been following him ever since he was at Oklahoma. But don't get me wrong, I do think the Ravens will be very good. Like those games, Browns Ravens are gonna be super competitive. All right, we're gonna jump over to the AFC East. We have the Bills at plus 135, Dolphins at plus 325, Patriots at plus 350, Jets at plus 2,000.
All right. I am going to go with the Dolphins. I want to go Jets, but they're going to need another year to figure it out. I think Tua is the most scrutinized quarterback in the league, and I understand for the most part why people think that, but I think that he's got a ton of playmakers around him. Might have the best weapons in the league. So I think the Dolphins could squeak this one out.
You know, I really want to go with the Dolphins. But you know what? What if, just maybe, the Patriots spent all their money really wisely this offseason and they drafted a quarterback that can come in right away and make the right decisions? Oh, wait. I think that's what happened. So with that being said, get some value for your money right here. Dude, the Patriots could go. The Patriots are already right back in a position to win this division. I don't care. I'm on record saying it. Everyone apparently forgot about Belichick and his boys already. I sure as hell didn't. I'm gonna let that be known. The people are sleeping on Mac Jones. Hey, I'm not gonna get on my tangent right now, but
Y'all must have forgot about the boy up in New York. Josh Allen is not gonna lose this division. Are you kidding me? He's so good. Stephon Diggs, come on. It's the Bills division for the next 5 years.
yeah, I respect the hot take.
It's not a hot take.
But it low-key, like the Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots are all on the come up right now. I can't lie. Like the Bills might have.
They are, but I don't like
Tua.
I don't like Tua, and I think the Patriots are done.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I think the Patriots they're just starting to retool to make everyone sick again.
That's fine.
All right, here's my take on it.
See.
Ready? I think quarterback play is obviously so important. And I agree with you, Dobbs. Like, I want to say the Patriots are going to do it, but until then, you need to see Mac Jones play good, or Cam Newton, even, for whatever happens at quarterback. And that's why I think the Bills are going to win, just because Josh Allen is that much better right now. But don't sleep on Mac Jones. He could be a dog in a couple of years. All right, we're gonna jump over to the AFC South now. We got the Colts at -106, Titans at +130, Jaguars at +750, and Texans at +2,200.
How are they worse than the Bengals?
I was gonna say, wait, bro, you can get more money betting on the Bengals. I literally was just going back to look at.
I think it's because the division is harder than the AFC North.
Yeah.
So that's why their odds are higher.
This is disrespectful to the Colts. The Colts are not folding this division to the Texans. This is disrespect.
That's true. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot to bet on the Texans to win this division. Like it should definitely be higher than that.
Either that, or you think they're about to find the next Kurt Warner.
Davis Mills.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the Deshaun situation, and everything, you still don't even know what's happening if he's playing. So like, I just don't. I couldn't understand putting money in the Texans. Yeah.
I'm actually surprised by these lines. The last 4 divisions didn't have anybody favored to actually win the division. And I'm surprised that the Colts are favored when the Titans have won it the last 2 years in a row. And I know they've lost some pieces, but they're still a good football team. They've still got Derrick Henry. I think A.J. Brown is a top receiver in the league. And they added a lot of pieces on defense, which is really what they needed to do. So I'm baffled that a Carson Wentz Colts team is favored to win this division. Like, I don't know how that's possible.
I was going to say, bro, after last season, everyone looked at it and was like, and I get it. Like, I've been saying this all off season long. Hey, him connecting with Frank Reich is like the one chance he has to like re-spark his career and like hit the ground running again. But with that being said, it's like, doesn't mean it's going to just happen. And like to give him like the odds in his favor right off the jump after we've seen what the Titans have been doing. I'm with you, Connor. Disrespectful. And I'm definitely taking the Titans with that said.
Let's go.
The Colts are really good, but I hate Carson Wentz so much. But I think if the Titans land Julio, they're instant favorites. But I think the Titans are going to take it, but like, fucking hate Carson Wentz, but he has that chance just to go off, and the Colts team is so good. Their roster, probably one of the most solid rosters in the NFL. So I get it, but until I see Carson Wentz like actually doing something, I'm gonna have to go with the Titans.
Should I do it?
I know you
guys. You're gonna say the Jaguars.
Jags.
Oh no.
Let's go. No, honestly,
no.
Just because the Colts and Titans are just so solid as football teams, like they're good at running the ball and stuff, like it's really hard to like upset them, even for like 1 or 2 games, much less a season. But I'm just gonna do it. +750. Like, come on, Trevor Lawrence. You wouldn't have fun watching Trevor Lawrence with plus 750 odds all year?
No, I like it, bro. I was going to say, you know what? Is there a chance? Hey, they got a good O-line. They're not. They just needed. They just need some consistency on offense. And
I've been really realistic with all my takes. I had to have a fun one, you know.
like,
Hot
hey,
take,
it's
and
Trevor
I'll
Lawrence.
eat my words. I'll eat my words, but I do not think Trevor Lawrence will ever be a top 3 quarterback.
Stop.
Maybe top
Hot.
5.
This is your.
I don't
hot
care.
take of the
I'll
day.
eat it. I'll eat it.
Hot
I don't
take
care.
of the
I don't think he's going to be
day.
top 5, top 3. I
Is
don't
this
think
gonna
so.
be this has to be the clickbait for the episode, like the little segment? People are
That's
gonna be
fine.
like,
I don't care. I don't think so. I think he might be one of those guys who's above average, pretty good, but I don't think he's ever going to be top 3, top 5.
No, I can definitely understand why you'd say
Yeah.
that.
Maybe,
too.
maybe 5, maybe 5.
I understand where you're coming from though.
I've stumbled all over that. He's so good that him busting is more likely. Not even busting, just not being as good as he's supposed to be.
all right, we're gonna jump over to the AFC West now. We have the Chiefs at minus 305, Broncos at plus 500, Chargers at plus 600, and the Raiders at plus 1,600.
All right, this one's a no-brainer. You got to do the Chiefs. I know it's not great odds, but no other team's going to win this division. I'll just tell you that straight up.
You know, I gotta disagree with you. I think I can name one team in this division I feel like has a chance to beat them in this division, and it can only happen. It can only happen if they beat them the 2 times they meet this year. I feel like that's it comes down to, and the chance of that happening, I agree. It's not good, but I feel like those odds, you're getting decent value on it. Like you're definitely getting decent value for the Chargers. If Jay Herbo, hey, who is it that said who started calling Jay Herbo? Was that you, Hunter?
Yeah.
If Jay Herbo can have, if he can come out and sling it even just a little better than he did last year, he was already on fire last year. Defense is improved. They have, their guys, if they get Derwin back, they're healthy again. They're a great team. So I agree. They don't have Mahomes. They're not the Chiefs, but I don't know if they can beat them 2 times when they play in the regular season. Just maybe.
I think that's fair. I think it's fair.
I'm going to go Chiefs, but I could see the Chargers just on some fuck shit this year, like just taking it, but it's Chiefs all the way.
Yeah, I feel like if you were to take any other team except the Chiefs here, you're almost banking on a Mahomes injury. And I'm not saying like season ending or whatever, like even if he's out
games.
Even if he's out for like 5 games, like that gives another team enough opportunity to go in and snag the division. But yeah, you have to go Chiefs here.
Just a disclaimer though, if the Broncos get Rodgers, then this is all fucked.
Yep.
So
yeah, things do change a lot if that happens.
Quick question.
We're forgetting our boy Derek Carr, but
what do you think the odds for the Broncos would go to if they get Rodgers to win the division?
I think they're plus 100. I think the Chiefs go down to minus like 100.
I was definitely thinking plus 100 too, bro. That's probably like
That sounds about right.
That'd be like exactly where I feel like it would.
I should set
to.
the fucking lines.
Yeah, no, dude, send an email right now. Tell them that they've been fucking up.
Mr. Casino, I'm setting the lines for all this shit. All right. That was stupid.
No, I fucked with it. You're the casino now. Hunter is the casino.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be a new segment. I'm gonna set a line each week.
We need it.
You could be like, this is where Vegas fucked up.
Yeah,
literally,
I like that.
Where Vegas fucked up.
I'm Hunter Vegas.
I'm gonna write this down right now.
All right, so Hunter, you want to take over this armchair? Just kind of go over and explain it.
So Armchair GM, I think it's a cool idea. So basically what it's going to be is each week, each of us are going to have a conference and a division in that conference. So for this week example, I have the NFC and the AFC West. So basically all we're going to do is each week we'll rotate and we have to make a decision for one team in that respective division and conference. So I'll start off. I'll go NFC West. I'm going to go Cardinals need to go out and grab Zach Ertz. Okay. Their starting tight end is Max with 2X Williams. It doesn't make sense. That's their starter. Like, okay, they have
that flowed so well though. Max with 2X Williams.
That's a raw. That would be, because think about it. Like, he better be number What is X? X is 10. See, it didn't work out. Never mind. He better change his fucking number to 10. Anyway, they have a raw ass receiving core, but they're tight at like who's gonna run up the middle? Like no one's guarding fucking Max Williams. He's probably gonna drop the ball. He probably had a decent season. I sound ignorant, but go out and get Zach Ertz. I think he's an aging veteran. Get him on I think he's only got like 1 or 2 years on his deal. I don't see why you don't get him. I think they have cap space, so why not? Okay, this is the one where I've actually done a lot of thinking on. I'm not that I didn't think on it, but like the AFC West, I think you sit Drew Lock, you start Teddy Bridgewater because listen, you have Jerry Jeudy, you have KJ Hamler, and then Javonte Williams, right? Is the running back they drafted? Okay. They're not going to develop under Drew Lock. Okay. I don't care if Drew Lock can throw it down the field and Teddy Bridgewater can't. With Teddy Bridgewater, you're giving these guys the chance with a competent. I don't care if they win a ton of games. You're developing your future in your offense. I say you start Teddy, you sit Drew. I mean, no one's sold on Drew. Who's he going to start for if he wasn't on the Broncos? I think you start Teddy, let your offense and young guys develop. I mean, they got Noah Fant at tight end too. Let them develop, figure out their game, and give them a chance, right? So then you can use Teddy as a bridge like he's been used before. And bring in a real guy, and you already have studs around him on cheap deals. So that's my move.
Use the Bridgewater as the bridge man. Is that what you're saying?
No
Yes.
pun intended.
Let's
Wow,
go.
I
Hunter,
did that so
You're
seamlessly.
killing it right now.
I mean, hey man.
He Hunter was killing that segment.
All right, so next we got the NFC and AFC North, and that is going to be Dobbs.
You're putting pressure on me, Hunter. Now I gotta kill it the same way. No,
You
it's
got to
a real
use
shit.
cool names.
Yeah, I gotta really figure out how I'm gonna get this to roll off the tongue. But I mean, all right. So obviously for the NFC North, well, I mean, come on, you guys know what move I'm gonna address. Look, if I'm the Packers, I'm figuring out the Aaron Rodgers situation. It's a distraction more than anything. And it's kind of one of those things like anything in life. You can keep sweeping it under the rug, but every single day it comes closer and closer to fruition of like a decision has to be made. You can keep sweeping under the rug, or we can take care of it now. Obviously, it looks like he doesn't want to come back, and it's almost like at this point, even if he does come back, things don't like what is you got. He's getting older. The situation, like the relationship, is going to take a while to be patched back, even if it is able to patch back. I don't think they're in a position to win. I mean, really, like a really Super Bowl with him. It's like I think you trade him and you get the most you can out of it, and you move on. And like we said, they fucked up. They just have to bite the bullet. They fucked up, and it's time to move on and figure it out because until that they do, it's just going to be the distraction that it is, and that's not what you want as no matter what franchise you are. And then for the AFC, I'm saying, look, it contradicts where I'd like to see Julio, or I think he'd best be, at. But at the same time, this is another really good spot for him. Hey, if the Ravens can go out and make a move for Julio Jones, get yourself a number one receiver in that offense. I mean, obviously, like a true number one receiver in that offense. Give Lamar the biggest security blanket he could have ever asked for, basically. And I think magic happens. And obviously, the Ravens are already Super Bowl competitors. But I'm kind of on that same train as Hunter said. It's not for the Ravens to win a playoffs right now. Every game has to be a perfect offensive game plan where Lamar has to have a near perfect game. But you give him a guy like Julio, that is not the case anymore. You a lot of things open in the offense more, and you can throw more jump balls. You can rely on Julio to really do more things for you. So if the Ravens can make that happen, big moves.
Connor with the NFC and AFC East.
All right. For the NFC East, I chose Dallas. I think they're in a very pivotal spot right now with their roster. Looking at it, I think they have one of the best offenses in the league. I really trust in Dak, so they don't have to worry about that side of the ball. But there's a corner available on free agency right now that would be a stud day one walking into that building, and that's Richard Sherman. When you look at the other defenses in that division, the Giants and the football team, the Dallas doesn't even compare at all. But you go and sign Richard Sherman. You already added a great linebacker, 2 good safeties. Your defensive line is already pretty solid. You shore up that cornerback room, and I think that makes them clinch the division easily. I think their odds would shoot up from plus 125 to minus 125. So that would be the first move for them. And for the AFC East, going with Miami. And I think that the thing that they need to do first and foremost is shore up that offensive line. They added Will Fuller and Jalen Waddle in free agency. They've got Mike Gesicki and Devontae Parker. They have great weapons. But if you're putting all your chips in the table for Tua to really be that guy, then you need to shore up the offensive line, because last year he was one of the most pressured quarterbacks in the league. You didn't really have continuity at the position. You're starting Fitzpatrick for a little bit. We don't really know what kind of player Tua is yet. And if you really want to find that out, give him the best chance by shoring up that offensive line. So I would go sign Mitchell Schwartz for sure.
Wow, I really like that Richard Sherman one. I like that a lot. I think that would be really good.
Kind of fire.
I know, kind of fire, sneaky pick. Dylan with the NFC and AFC South.
All right, so I feel like I got super lucky with both these divisions. So for the NFC South, we're going the Falcons. They just need to, I think they need to get rid of Matt Ryan too, but we know that's not going to happen during the year. But we do know that they are going to trade away Julio Jones sometime soon. And then that kind of coincides with the team that we've all been saying would be the best fit for them. So for the AFC South, what they need to do is they need to go out and get Julio Jones. We touched on it earlier. And pairing up Julio Jones in that offense with Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown, it's just a match made in heaven. Like, that's the trifecta right there. And that offense would be crazy to watch.
I think that's where's Matt Ryan going?
Dude, I don't know.
No one's picking up his contract.
That's true, but they just need a restart. They need a refresher.
I know.
His time's done there.
So we're gonna move next into the debate segment, and so, let's go. So this is how it works. So each week it's gonna be two people against each other, and then there's gonna be two judges, and pretty much how this goes is each person gets a minute. There's a post question. We're going to keep a record. And then there's a 30-second rebuttal, and that's it. And then the two judges will pick the winner. So the first one is Dobbs. Dylan, can you get a timer ready?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. So the first question is, which rookie receiver will have the same or more of an impact on their offense this upcoming offseason? Or not offseason, this season. And the people are Dobbs and Connor that are going to be debating.
Dobbs is so hyped for this. He's so excited.
Oh yeah, no, dude. I'm literally way too excited.
All right,
on
ready?
Dylan's go, you can start.
3, 2, 1.
All right, so I'm going with Jamar Chase, and I'll keep this short, sweet, and to the point. Look, what y'all need to know is, as a 19 and 20-year-old kid, Jamar Chase led the SEC, 1,780 yards, 20 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson was his teammate. Now, we all know how good Justin Jefferson was last year. And Justin Jefferson, I knew was going to be a fantastic player coming in the league. As a matter of fact, on record, all these guys would tell you, I remember how much I was like shocked it was the Eagles passed than I'm sure many people were. Because I knew he was going to come in the league and have a big impact. With Jamar Chase, I have that same feeling times 0.1 and times 1.5, where it's like, I know he's going to be spectacular. He's going to literally come right in from day one and make magic happen because he's that talented. He is one of the most talented receivers to come out of college in such a long time. He's physical. He's a good blocker as well. Not that matters for statistics for offensive rookie of the year or anything we're making, but it matters for making an impact. And I think that he is going to be their number one receiver from year one. All respect. And the Bengals already have a good receiving core. So that just adds fuel to my fire. Jamar Chase I think he's going to be the truth.
All right. 3. Oh.
Very well said, Dobbs. Now, do I get a 30-second rebuttal, or am I just going
No,
straight
you get a
1
minute on yours.
And then
Okay.
we'll go to the rebuttals. All right. 3, 2, 1.
So the thing is, when you look at the question, it's who has a better impact on their offense this upcoming season. And I think there are a couple receivers that have the chance to walk in and be the number one. Devonta Smith could come out and be the number one for Philly, and Rashad Bateman could be the number one for Baltimore. But I trust Lamar Jackson a lot more. So I'm going to go with Rashad Bateman here. I think he was the most NFL-ready receiver to come out of the draft this year. He's the best route runner. He's got great hands. He's fast, too. And I think Lamar's been dying for a receiver that can hold the outside, that he can actually throw deep balls to. Because in college, he was one of the best deep ball throwers in college football, and he hasn't had a receiver that can go down the field and make plays on the ball. So I think Rashad Bateman's going to come in and take over that number one receiving role, and I think he could lead the league in receiving yards for a rookie.
Damn, with time to spare too.
Wow.
All right, Dobbs,
Yeah,
your
I had it
rebuttal.
planned out.
All right, so my rebuttal. All right, here's my rebuttal. I agree that I think that Bateman's going to come in and he's going to have he's going to be in a position to be the number one receiver. But I think that Chase is going to be in that same position and yes, Chase is surrounded by talent, but we have to remember Chase is going right back with the QB that he was just setting records with, and we know that trust is going to be there. That mutual trust is already in standing. Joe Burrow is going to be looking his way first on almost every play because he knows and trusts he's going to get open. And moreover, I just think Chase he's going to get open against already almost any corner you throw in front of him. He's that talented. He's that shifty. So yeah, I respect Bateman, but.
All right.
My turn.
Yep.
All right. So I do agree with you. I think Chase is by far the most talented receiver in this as the rookie class. The thing is, there are a lot of mouths to feed in Cincinnati, and I think T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd are already established there. So even though Jamar Chase will come in and he can be wide receiver 2, take over the outside role, there are a lot of other receivers that are going to get the ball, and I think they're going to get Joe Mixon more involved this year too. So that would be my reason not to take Chase.
Damn.
Okay. So
time
I'm going to
range.
decide this right now. I have to side with Connor because, one, I do agree that Lamar is going to target Bateman a lot more because he's got, Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews. And, yes, you're saying that, like, Jamar Chase is going to make an impact, but that doesn't matter if Burrow's going to be on the ground 90% of the game. They should have took Sewell. I'm sorry, they should have took Sewell. So I got to go Bateman.
Oh yeah, no, Connor's argument. I respect it.
No,
Connor
you don't respect it. You hate it.
Connor picked the best guy, and Connor's showing off his wits. Connor knows his football. Bateman was like the best guy he could have gone with. He went crazy. I respect his argument.
Can I equal it out right here? I'm just gonna go with Dobbs and the Jamar Chase thing. I was gonna go Bateman, and I've talked to Connor about this too. Like, I think Bateman's so good, and he's literally in a world of his own right there, where like it's only Hollywood Brown, right, as the other receiver, like Willie Snead. Like, who cares about those dudes? But dude, Dobbs hit me with that Burrow to Jamar Chase connection. If they can get that going again, that could be scary.
It doesn't matter if there's no line.
They could go crazy.
Hey, so Jonah Williams. This is the first year we're really going to get to see Jonah Williams. So that is something not a lot of people have talked about. If Jonah Williams can stay healthy, be kind of what he was in college again, he's at least got like some protection on his blind side. So I feel like that's worth noting.
Yeah. So we're really going to end this first one with a tie. That sucks.
Hey, well, we'll see if you and Dylan can break it. What do you? If you and Dylan can?
No, I'm not budging. I think Dylan's opinion is stupid. Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. So if there's a tie, we're gonna throw up a poll on the story and we'll decide.
It's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And so for our next debate, we're going to be discussing here, or more specifically, Hunter and Dylan are going to be going back and forth on who the best rookie head coach is going to be for the next decade. So a long period of time, a lot of thinking to do. So let's hear what you boys think. With that being said, I'm going to start this timer. Who's going first? I should ask.
I am.
All right, Hunter.
Oh.
3.
It's just on the dock though.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. You're good to go.
I'm going to go Brandon Staley. I think his pass work speaks for himself. He was with the Rams. He was with the Bears. And if I don't forget, he was with the Broncos. So I think culture-wise, I think he's a great guy. I almost went Saleh but the reason I didn't go Saleh is because I looked at the team. I think the Chargers are built to win long-term. And I think if Zach Wilson doesn't plan out, I think the Saleh thing is going to be kind of tough until they get a new guy. I think Brandon Staley, I think teams love him. I think he's worked under great people. He's worked with McVay. He's worked with Fangio. I think he has all that winning attitude and culture. I think he's a player's guy. And I think his past experience really, like I said, speaks for itself in terms of those defenses that he's worked with. That's all.
All right. You got it in with 13 seconds to spare.
And Jay Herbo.
Yeah, that's an important one.
All right, so whenever you're ready for your side of the argument, Dylan, I'm going to count down in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, if I'm being completely honest, I was looking at Brandon Staley too, and I would have loved to pick him because I think he is set up for the future. But my thing with Robert Saleh is that I think that he's going to develop a culture. We've all seen him running around with his head cut off on the sideline, screaming, getting guys jacked and juiced. I think it might take him a little bit, maybe like the next 5 years to develop that roster. But there's no question in my mind that Robert Saleh is the best culture coach aside from these rookies and maybe even in the entire NFL. I think he's going to get those guys juiced in. Zach Wilson kind of scares me a little bit. We don't really know what to expect from that team, but if Zach Wilson does pan out, like he has a nice setup there. He gets some defensive pieces. I think that he might resurrect the Jets. Who knows?
Okay.
All right, with
I'm
12
ready for
seconds to
my
spare.
Okay.
All right, Hunter. 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1.
Okay. I love Robert Saleh. I think he's the right guy, but here's the thing. If Zach Wilson doesn't pan out, you're just not letting him go after your first year. You're sitting with him, and you're talking about like it's going to take 5 years. You don't got 5 years. 5 years is half of the question. You're set with Jay Herbo. You're set with the Chargers. They are set. There's too many contingencies on the Jets, and the Jets are the Jets. So there you go.
You were right at like 29 seconds. So perfect rebuttal. And then Dylan, whenever you're
Ain't
ready.
that crazy?
That is crazy. You literally like 0.3 seconds left. All right. Perfect. And then 3, 2, 1.
All right. So this is a big part that I think we're missing too. If we look at the division, he is in a really tough division, and he might be losing to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs a lot over the next decade. Robert Saleh, we got the Bills, we got the Patriots, sure, but I think there is a lot more wiggle room for them to get on the come up and take over that division a little bit.
I know this isn't allowed, but I'm gonna sneak it in. There's 7 seeds. There's an extra spot. I don't care. There's an extra spot.
Real quick too, Hunter. I loved how like we both started out. We're like, yeah, I really like Brandon Staley too, but like,
it was hard. It was tough.
It was tough.
And that boy up from Buffalo. Buffalo. So.
All right.
I don't care.
So this is tough. I gotta say though, Hunter, your evidence was compelling. I and you know what? Your rebuttal, you were rolling. Dylan, I everything you said, Dylan, I do agree with. It is true. The contingencies the Jets hold versus the Chargers, it's so hard for me not to think that Brendan Staley is going to have a longer sustained success. Whereas though, if Saleh does have success, I can see it being better and being more highly regarded because the situation he's going into with the Jets is going to be a lot harder than Staley's situation. So it's not even, it's so, like that. It is so hard.
That's why
to convince me of Saleh over Staley, because the Jets are such a like question mark.
That's why my argument was like really trying to like get away from like the roster and everything else. And I was just like, you know what? I was like, Saleh's so sick, bro. He's running around with his head cut off.
No, I respect that part. No, I have to say this. That is the one thing you said that was really true. That it's like, as far as being a coach, no, like the biggest thing he said for real was like, Saleh is like, we know he's a coach, like he fires guys up. He's in guys' faces. Staley's just a really good football mind. Now, like that is true, Dylan. Like when it comes to like coaching a team and commanding a locker room, will Staley be able to do that as well as Saleh? I don't know. Honestly, I don't really think right now the answer is yes. I think that right now Saleh can better command a locker room. So it's really just a matter of like, if the roster can get turned around for the Jets.
All right. I'll do my pick now. So I think both your guys' arguments, like you both did a very good job. If I had to go argument alone, I don't think I could choose either one of you because I think you both made some very good points. I'm going to go with Dylan because I am a little bit of a Jets stan. You guys are hating on the roster. It's not that bad. The defensive line is very good.
That defensive line is very good.
It is nice.
Their trenches are getting built up. Like they're building those trenches.
I'm like LaMarcus Joyner is coming back to play actual free safety this year. I mean, I'm kind of a Jets stan, so I'm going to go with Dylan also because of the division point that you're in the division with the GOAT. That's going to be tough to come out of all the time.
There's 7 seeds. There's 7 seeds. If they can't make it in one of those 7 seeds, then Brandon Staley shouldn't even be considered in this conversation.
We're going to have to let the fans decide on this.
Mac Jones, Josh Allen, and who the fuck else? Tua. Yeah, okay? That's fine. Y'all decide what y'all want. I'll live with it.
I gotta just throw it in there too. Connor, I'm with you. With Zach Wilson, I have to be a little bit of a Jet stan myself though too. I just got to throw that in there. Like,
oh my,
I'm on the Zach Wilson train. That'll be talked more about in future episodes for sure. But like,
I think we're Jets fans.
The disclaimer needs to be thrown out.
I feel like Robert Saleh doesn't do coke, but I feel like he's okay with like any of his players like bumping a key on the sideline. Like anything to get you going. Like,
he's supplying smelling salts, premium smelling salts.
That's a really good question too. Is like,
do you think Robert Saleh does coke?
No, not necessarily coke, but like, is he doing anything to like boost that, give him some energy? Like,
he's dry scooping C4 every drive.
Yeah, dry scooping Adderall.
Dry scooping Adderall with dust with a Bang energy drink.
He's definitely endorses Bang. We're gonna have to get him on one day to ask him. Maybe he's a Rain Energy guy.
If I were to ask him anything, I would ask him like, how do you get so hype on the sidelines?
I would be the same way, to be honest. Pure adrenaline.
That's
but
true too.
To move into our last segment, Connor is gonna hit us with a crazy stat, and basically, me, Dobbs, and Dylan are gonna have to figure out who it is, or what team, or whatever the question entails.
All right. So the crazy stat for this week: in 2012, a running back put up 51.2 fantasy points. He rushed for 251 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 21 receiving yards. Who is this player?
Oh my God. Hold on. I think I know.
Don't look it up.
You can't look it up.
No. I'm looking up his name. I swear to God on my life, I'm not looking it up. I know the last name of him. I just need to figure out the first name so I can make my
Connor,
guess.
can you repeat that last part?
Yeah, I know my guess. I know my guess.
Okay.
I'm ready for my guess whenever the time is.
November 4th, running back put up 51.2 fantasy points. He rushed for 251 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 21 receiving yards.
It's Jonas Gray.
I am not going to make that available and need everybody else's guess.
Wow. Fuck you.
So he
knows it already.
How did you know that?
Because I remember the story about it.
Don't even want to guess because we know
because I know the story because I remember the story about this.
You're wrong. Fuck you.
You're wrong.
It's Chris Johnson.
I want them all to guess, but
it's Chris Johnson.
I don't know if this lines up. Peyton Hillis?
No.
All right, who is it?
Doug Martin.
Ooh. Oh, that was the OG.
It was like
OG.
2 or 3 weeks in a row. This man snapped for like
Tampa.
60 fantasy points.
No, wait, was it Tampa? No, he was on Washington.
No, it was Tampa. It was
Tampa. Yeah, 4 touchdowns, 250
He was
yards.
snapping. He was like a bowling ball.
He was crazy back in the day.
I remember
that was a good one.
Jake had him in fantasy.
Who was the generic running back on Washington who wore like number 45? Alfred Morris.
Oh my God, you're funny as hell.
He's crazy,
bro. Well,
crazy.
That was this has been the RPO. We're gonna implement like a mailbag segment, but we wanted to kind of do a show first before we put that in, just so like we can make everyone aware. So weekly we're gonna be putting up just like a thing on Instagram, on Twitter. So if you could reply with any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. Pretty happy with how the show turned out for the first time. I hope you guys liked it. Let us know what you guys liked about it. We'll be back next week. Let us know if there's anything you would like to see us do differently or anything you want to see us talked about, anything like that as well. So thank you guys for listening. This will be on the main YouTube. It'll be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everything like that. So be sure to follow Burbs Sports and Burbs Entertainment on Instagram, social media. Hit our site. It's going to be up there too. So yeah, subscribe, like, comment, let us know. You guys can say bye too, I guess.
See you guys.
I'm gonna hit the outro with I got a little hot take. I'm leaving the show with a hot take. I'm gonna give y'all the Michael Thomas flex because everyone seems to think this is AJ Brown's now. Yeah, I need y'all to remember this is Michael Thomas's. Okay, just make sure that isn't forgotten about. But with that being said, Phil, thank you all so much for tuning in. We're really excited to keep bringing y'all this content every week, and we're just gonna keep getting better and better. You know, like we're gonna keep coming and bringing good content and just keep it rolling every week.
Y'all ready for this?